I'm not the type of guy who raises hell without a reason. I'm a father. A husband. I was. This all began in the early 2000s. I had 2 kids, ages 4 and 6, beautiful innocent little faces that made coming home worth it every single day. I thought I was living the dream. Sure, life wasn't perfect. My wife worked part-time, we juggled schedules, like any couple with young kids. But things felt off. They always do, don't they? Before your world falls apart, there's that quiet little hum in the back of your mind, the kind that whispers, something's not right. The kids started saying they were spending more time with their grandparents, my wife's parents, who lived an hour and a half away. 2 or 3 times a week, she'd pack them up and drive all that way, even on her days off. That didn't make sense. Who drives 3 hours round trip just to get help babysitting? When I asked, she brushed it off. Said it gave her time to run errands and clear her head. But her eyes darted when she spoke. She was never a good liar. I knew something was wrong. So, I did what any betrayed man driven mad with suspicion would do. I started tracking the mileage on her car. Week after week, it added up 4, sometimes 500 miles more than usual. That wasn't errands. That was someone else. And then one day, she slipped. It was the kind of mistake only an arrogant cheater makes. A yellow sticky note, carelessly slapped beside our computer, with her AOL password written on it. She thought she was untouchable. So I logged in. My hands were shaking, heart pounding in my chest like war drums. I opened her emails, and that's when I saw it, thread after thread between her and her college best friend. They weren't even being subtle. She was sleeping with her high school ex. It was all there, when they met, how often, where. She even made fun of his wife for gaining weight after having kids. Can you believe that? She laughed about another woman's pain while being the cause of mine. I printed every email, tucked them away in a folder like loaded ammo. But I needed more. I wasn't going to just catch her. I was going to bury this whole thing. So I called an old friend, a cop, and asked if he knew a private investigator. That's how I met Ron. Ex-cop. Quiet. Deadly efficient. I gave him everything I had. The emails. The schedule. Her lies. He didn't just find out what she was doing, he documented everything. Photos. Time-stamped reports. She'd drop the kids at her parents', meet her lover for lunch, then take him to a cheap motel. 2 hours later, she'd pick up the kids like nothing had happened. She was using my kids as cover. That was the final nail. I hired a divorce lawyer the next morning. My parents had cheated on each other, and I remembered how their war scorched my childhood. I wasn't going to repeat that history. I wasn't going to let my kids grow up in that kind of pain. But I wasn't done. I told Ron to dig deeper, into the man. The homewrecker. I needed to know who he really was. And Ron delivered. His name was Bob. Married. 3 kids. And, here's the twist, he worked as a VP of sales for his father-in-law's company. That's right. His wife's dad was his boss. That's when the plan came together like a damn movie script. I had divorce papers drawn up. I asked Ron for multiple copies of his report. And then I played my move. On a Thursday afternoon, she got served, right at her job. Everyone saw. Cold. Surgical. No emotion. Just pure, calculated silence. At the exact same time, Ron paid a visit to Bob's wife. Gave her the photos. The emails. The motel logs. Everything. I didn't tell her what to do with the info. I didn't have to. She was smart. And angry. And connected. What happened next was nothing short of biblical. Bob's wife didn't just divorce him. She annihilated him. She cleaned out their joint accounts overnight. Took the kids. Vanished. And when her father, Bob's boss and landlord, found out what his precious son-in-law had done, Bob was fired on the spot. Then he was evicted. Because guess what? The house they lived in was owned by her parents. It gets worse, or better, depending on your taste for karma. Apparently, Bob went back to the house and tried to argue his way back in. It turned into a shouting match. His ex-wife's brother stepped in and broke his nose. Restraining orders followed. Then police reports. Then criminal charges. Then jail time. He lost his job, his wife, his home, his dignity, everything. And me? I didn't say a word. I just watched it burn, from a safe, quiet distance. People think revenge is loud, explosive, but the best revenge is silent, measured, executed with precision and patience. You don't have to scream. You don't have to fight. Just wait, and let karma use your evidence as fuel.